like pull him through the doorway quickly. Gotcha. Okay, so when you guys like finally give the command to go, it's like, all right, open the door. Everything's running on emergency power right now. So the door opens up, and the two of them immediately burst around the different corners, looking down the hallways. And once again, they can see down the hallways. It's much dimmer now. Slight blink of red, dimmer now. There's nobody immediately outside there. However, you can hear stuff happening, like echoing down the hallways and the facilities.
We'll pull this guy through, and I shut up. And lead us to your spaceport, where ships come in.
It's over.
And then we'll help you.
Over to your supplies. Do you want to go to directly there?
Is there a safer route?
There's service tunnels. Service tunnels. Less soldiers. Service tunnels.
Well,
This guy's really cold.
Yeah.
We can deal with that after we slay the alien threat, and then I'll.
What, the fact that the guy's dying? I might not live that long.
The adrenaline will keep him running through the whole thing.
Technically, if you leave the piece of metal in there, it blocks the blood flow. So
Yeah, but
he's
that piece
actually
of
doing
metal got
better off.
really, really fucking cold. Don't forget, metal conducts
Oh yeah,
heat
I know.
and cold very,
I
very
know.
well.
I'll just be like, just basically show us the service tunnels.
Can't we do something about his leg?
This is later problems. What I would actually, if you
This
say
guy's
that,
showing
I'd
us the way.
say
If he
maybe...
passes out and dies on the way,
What?
then
I would say.
Carmine just
after
vibes up. I can keep him awake. Don't worry.
Yeah, we can maybe slap him with some stimulants when we've got the when we see the entrance to the service tunnels.
If he's a nice
Before
guy and
then-
he keeps helping us, I'll sort him out.
My plan would be to find the actual service tunnels, leave him outside, but stim him.
Okay.
He's not going anywhere.
So
Yeah.
while you guys are having this debate, Victoria watches you guys debating back and forth, rolls her eyes, and pulls something out of one of her packs, and she immediately attaches it to the wall by the doorway that you guys just came through, and then grabs something else and very carefully attaches it to the wall on the other side of the doorway that you guys just came through, and then make sure she shuts the doorway to stop the cold from coming in and the heat from leaving the facility into that chamber that's over there. And then you can see that she's grabbing something else and is placing it above the doorway. But for this, it's rather difficult for her because she's so short. She's kind of on her tippity toes, trying to get it up there, but eventually kind of slaps it kind of the best that she can to the top of the doorway. And then kind of looks back at you guys. You finish your little argument and are ready to keep moving.
touche.
Okay. Once you start saying more or less move along with this guy, is it still Lena and Rockwell that are helping him move instead of the other three with their assault rifles or shotgun?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'd
cool.
be having Carmine go in front of us and the other two behind, more or less, because assuming we're going more down maintenance ways for this.
Okay. So you guys go along the main corridor, but as you're getting closer and closer, where that sound is, he kind of gestures at a doorway. And when you get to the door, you go to open it. It's, security locked. He's like, oh, everything's automatically locked on emergency power. My boot.
Makes sense.
It's in my boot because I always forget it at lunch. My card. It's in the boot.
Oh, I'll just go and get it.
Yeah, you kind of fish around inside the boot for a second and eventually pull the the chipped card or whatever, and you put it near the thing and opens
Just don't
up.
try to smell it.
But when you do that, you can see as you tip your card onto the thing, you can see his little on a holo display, his ID pops up, and then the door opens up, and you guys go through and it shuts behind you once everybody's on the other side. This room is even warmer because it didn't have any of its heat.
Half
blasted
the
out.
reason to bring him with us.
And immediately inside this, where you guys are right here, you can see that there is a facility here. It's kind of strange what it is that's around you. It's a whole bunch of different equipment. It looks like manufacturing equipment and stuff like that, which I suppose makes sense because you are at like a mining place. But this doesn't look like mining equipment. It looks like production equipment, like assembly line sort of production equipment that's here. And currently, there's nobody inside the room. All the power for the facility is clearly shut down. But it's like one of those things where they were literally in the middle of working, but power went down. So it's like everybody just left here.
Can I tell what they were making?
Yeah, so you can go over to the assembly line and start kind of like looking at it, and you can see that there's different containers of stuff, and you can kind of go over and like look at the container and open it up if you'd like.
While I'm doing that, I'd order Carmine to give him some stimulants to keep him going while we go underground, basically.
So
Yeah, he's
Like,
done it.
the plan is to leave him actually in this room and go without
I'm gonna
him.
first aid him, but leave the like bit of metal in, so he's not very mobile still. But
Yeah.
Do you want to metagel him, which is quicker? Metagel is where's first aid's a whole minute.
Costs a lot.
I'm not spending money on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
First
I
aid.
I'm just gonna use.
Roll me your skill
I do
check.
it.
Oh, you want to do
I'm
Benedict?
gonna put my gel on him.
Okay, then
I
you
mean,
roll me
if
your
you're
first aid
going
check.
to, that's
So
fine.
he kind of bust out his first aid kit or whatever, and you just kind of like walk up and just kind of inject it with the stuff, right as Carmine's starting to do his work. Roll me your
What's
first
the
aid
other
check.
Look at her, but I won't actually stop her or anything. Like that's her fun.
First aid,
What's-
intelligence or dexterity, your choice.
Our choices.
And it works. So you walk up to the guy, and you just kind of like, as Carmine's about to get ready, starting to work on him, you just hit him with the metagel, and all of a sudden he's kind of like, what was that? Oh my god. Oh, my leg still hurts, but I feel a lot better now. And it's like, like the IR scanner of the drone can instantly see like
Yeah.
his temperature gets a lot higher.
I would just say while I'm like looking at these things, be like, perks of working for the Alliance.
If you are Alliance, okay. I couldn't tell from your uniforms. Are you here because of them?
Basically.
Thank the gods and the stars above. Oh man, I'm
Not
so
much gods,
happy.
lots of aliens.
Well, whatever it is, or whatever reason you're here, I'm just glad you are. I suppose this is a good price to pay if you're successful. The service tunnels. Go that way to the back of the room and go through the hallway. You'll see a lift. The elevator's probably going to be powered down. Every time you use my card, it's going to divert power to where it is that you're going. But they'll eventually track that that's happening. I suggest you use the shafts instead. Ladders. And make your way down. To get to the actual service tunnels themselves, it's going to be about 8 stories that you're going down the shaft. But once you get into the service tunnels, you'll be able to find your way to where you need to be, no problem. I wish I could give you a schematic of the facility, but with us on auxiliary power, there's no way to pull that information up. Oh, wait. Well, there's a map for the emergency routes. Everything else is grayed out, but maybe you can use that as a base? And he kind of
It's
like...
better than nothing.
He kind of goes to try to stand up, but actually like looks at Lena, like hopefully.
Okay, I help him.
Okay.
Is that what he's wanting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You help him
Yeah.
up, and he hobbles over to like where like an emergency exit like display is for people to see where to go. It's actually kind of funny because there's a hollow overlay that's like a 3D overlay in front of just a piece of paper that's on the wall. It's like put against the wall behind like fiberglass or whatever. And so he goes and he like points at like a panel that's in the wall. He's like, do you have a service tool? Can you open this? You don't
Service tool.
You don't need to. You can actually hack into stuff behind the wall with your Omnitool, remember?
Yeah. I'll be like, yeah. Gets my helmet tool out.
And he sees like you pulling up the programs just with your Omnitool right there. He's like, oh, okay, then yeah, copy these files. And you put them into your thing, and instantly you have the map on your Omnitool. And he's kind of like
Nice.
looking at it like, holy crap, that's super nice. And he's like, yeah, so where it is that you want to go, and he kind of gestures at like where it is that the service tunnel start, and all of a sudden like a ping drops, and he's like, "Oh, okay." But for you, like he, because you're so again, your Omni tool, typically speaking, the hollow part of the Omni tool is usually invisible to everybody but the person looking at it, right? But you can choose to display instead of the normal customized colors that you have, and just like the plain blue color. The regular hollow. So as he touches, all of a sudden a different colored ping shows up than what you usually see on your Omni tool. And he's kind of like pinging a couple different spots for where it is that you need to go, and like corners to take to get to this service thing. And he pings the area where it is that you want to go, like the actual the hangar, which is where Ollie was just requesting.
Awesome. I send that to the guys.
What was they makings?
What was that? Oh,
What
so
was they
as you're like
makings
opening this thing up
while they were
like,
doing
listen-
that?
Yeah. So it's really strange. You look up and you look inside, and it's just like strange colored. It kind of looks like dirt or sand or something, but it's just like deep red color.
I'm not even I'm gonna see it, and this isn't metagaming, but just you see a strange powder in an alien taste tested weird nuclear society. I just immediately close it and be like, I'd actually like take a sample of it, but not take it, but like then ziplock
Like
it.
seal it up and yeah. Ziplock it or whatever.
Almost definitely assuming it's some kind of narcotic. Well, I'm fairly sure like metagaming it is, but like just Rockwell would be assuming it. Like this
It's an unknown substance. Treat it with caution.
Don't trust
an
unknown
unknown
substances.
powder. It's probably a drug.
So so after you kind of take that, you tuck it to the side. Svedka, who's bored with the conversation, was kind of checking corners and whatnot. She looks over at what it was that you were doing, and she's like, "What is this?" And she like goes over and opens up another one.
Some kind of narcotic, probably linked to what the Batarian smugglers are using.
She like takes it and like dumps it out into like she's wearing gloves, of course she's wearing armor, onto her gloves and is like playing with it. She's like, it's like cloud because again reduced gravity. It kind of like pours out and it doesn't just go. It's like.
Yeah.
Carmine just glances over while trying to keep all the corners secure, basically.
Taking a sample, we can bring it back to the Vitruvius for major testing, work out what these people are doing with it. Maybe visit some Batarians about it, honestly.
She's like, what is this for?
We don't know.
We don't know. We'll have to ask. We'll have to test.
She hauls over, hey, to the one that is finishing up his conversation with Lena. What is this for? And he's like, the experiments.
Experiments?
And he kind of looks like sheepish over at Lena, who's been like kind to him the entire time.
Okay, I tell you what I was going to say. I might have applied Medi-gel to you, but if you cross us, I will fuck you up.
No,
Whoa!
No, it's...
Top 10 anime betrayals.
It's the experiments. Ever since they've showed up, the experiments have been happening. The Batarians, when they got here, they came with instructions for making a composition. I'm not a part of this. I'm an engineer. I take care of, I ran the facility that you guys just blew up, and I just knew that they needed more and more power, more and more of it, and that they were using something that they were trucking in from off-world, combined with the stuff that we were finding here on this planet, and they were experimenting on the humans that they were bringing in as well, and I don't know what it's for, but it's experiments. I asked questions before, but it was kind of one of those things where you don't ask questions.
It's on a need-to-know basis. Carmine chimes in from across the room.
It's on a want-to-live basis.
We'll be able to test this, work out exactly what they were doing with it. But first of all, we need to take out the Batarians that are doing all the... But you have been a great help. We will come back to check on you at the very least. You'll live. Medi-gel is powerful stuff. We've
At that point,
got
Carmine's
to-
like, yeah, you'll be fine. You'll want to visit a medical facility at some point, to get rid of the metal, but they should be able to patch you up. You might have a bit of a limp for a while, but you'll be fine.
we should move out.
I will. Don't worry about me. And he says, looking across you guys and realizing you weren't worried about him.
No.
We still have his card, right?
You do?
Yeah, we would take that, obviously.
You most certainly do. Okay, so you guys are making your way into the service tunnels that we're talking about beforehand, and down over, and you see where the elevator is. You can take the elevator down, or you can take the service tunnels. Sorry, you can take the shaft. I imagine you take the shaft.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we take the shaft.
Okay, so you are making your way down the service tunnels to the 8 stories below, and when you finally come out, you can see that there are in fact people kind of like rushing around and trying to do things, but like hanging back and just like looking. Lena, you do the scouting, I imagine.
Yep.
Roll me a stealth check to not get noticed.
Dex.
Please.
No worries.
Okay, so you roll really well, and nobody notices you as they're running by. You see, like, out of like the 15 people that run by during a period of time where you're waiting for it to be silent enough that you guys can keep moving forward, one of them's a soldier. Everybody else is just looks like workers here at this facility. A combination of different outfits that you can see, like maybe mining, maybe engineering, whatever it might be. All sorts of different outfits that you see on them. So there you go. You see all that go by, then finally it gets kind of quiet again, and then you can kind of gesture for them. You can head back or calm to them, like, okay, come on, and you guys can start making your way out and over towards where it is that you're trying to go. Could you roll me another stealth check, please, Lena?
Ooh.
Okay, so you are trying to sneak your way around the corner again. Eventually, somebody stops and notices you. Quick look at the person. They seem to be just another worker that's here. Roll me a perception charisma check, please. I was like, hey, who are you? So he's like, hey, who are you? And looking him over, he actually seems more shocked and afraid than anything else with that check right there. What do you say?
I just put my hand up.
Yep.
I'm not Carmine. I just put my hand up and say, help us.
Oh.
I go like that.
Yeah.
And I say, if you want to live, I suggest you get far away from the Batarians as possible. We know they're here.
And he kind of just like looks, and he was heading that direction, but then he kind of like looks back and forth for a little bit, and then he runs back the other direction where he just came from.
And now we know where to go.
Okay.
Yep. We go that way to the Batarians.
Okay. And so you kind of like, do you tell this to
That's
everybody else
actually
what
a
just
smart
happened?
way to ask.
Yeah, I say.
Yeah,
I tell them to
surprisingly
move forward.
so.
I say, a guy was about to go that way, but I told him that if he wants to live, he should get away from the Batarians. He agreed and went the other way.
And he ran to the Batarians.
Lucky guy.
I would have
Yeah.
be like, good plan. We don't want the human casualties unless they're with the Batarians, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only
It
reason I
seems
shot
like
the guy
you're right.
fleeing was because he might set off alarms and
Yeah,
hey, there's
yeah,
people.
you monster.
So
You don't get to say that.
you guys make your way, continue along, trying to get to that hangar. And I do have to ask one more time, Rookie, could you roll me another stealth check as you're scouting ahead and trying to make things easier for them following behind you?
Sure thing.
I'm glad you rolled a critical
Ooh.
fucking success, because I'm not even joking. The very next thing I was going to say is, and everybody else is going to have to roll a stealth check for where they are, hanging back and see if anybody finds them there. But that
Carmine
doesn't
tripped to shoot
fucking
the shotgun.
That doesn't fucking matter, because you rolled a critical success. And so what happens is you go to go scout out again. You realize that the further and further you go into the facility down here, they become more and more of a liability because they could easily get caught. So before you do this last little bit of scouting, you actually find a good secure location for them to do their own hiding in. So I'm actually going to allow them to roll their stealth checks with a +3 modifier, because you had actually assisted them so well with your critical success.
Oh, you're so welcome, guys.
Guys, stealth dexterity +3. Wow, I didn't even see it happen so quickly. You both got exact 8s. So anyways, that was beautiful. So you guys stay
8
hidden.
mates.
Nobody notices where you are. People go sneaking by or whatever. But eventually she tells you to come ahead. Nobody catches you. You eventually make your way over to the hangar where it is that you want to be. And you're outside of the hangar using one of the service tunnels to get into it, not like the main entrance to get into it. You're outside of the hangar. What is your plan?
Can we check inside to see if there's a ship? I'm not going in a hangar with another ship. I've been there before.
Sadly, there are no cameras that are functioning that you can hack into because the power is down. However, you can IR through the walls with the drone. It just takes a couple moments.
Do it.
We've got time. They don't know we're here.
It's a good roll, Ollie. Good roll. So you spend some time looking through the walls, and you actually do pick up the heat signatures of 6 people. Nope. Wait. Now you see 9 people. Nope. Now you see 5. Nope. Now 11. But the way that they're moving kind of like up and then like disappearing from you're able to read them and then back down and out. And you're like, oh, it looks like, because you can't pick up that because maybe it's not powered on yet. But it looks as though maybe they're walking in and out of a ship.
Okay.
So
I would say that they're walking in and out of a ship with, imagine it wouldn't be outside of, like, it would be something I'd know of being a pilot, but, like, you can get basically silent ships, right? That are like heat controls, so you can't sense them this way.
or
So
it's
I
not
would
powered up.
mention that.
Or it's just not even powered
Yeah,
up.
it's just powered down.
That
so-
way we'd still be able to see into it.
You're going through metal walls across a
Yeah.
distance through more metal walls.
I know, yeah. There's enough of whatever.
When you say that, Carmine just puts his hand on the wall. Let's hope this one's sturdy as well.
But I'd say that, like, there's at least 9. I'm going to assume around 15 combatants. I don't know how many of them are aggressive, but we need to set up a significant defensive position before we enter. The ship is not live right now. I would definitely sense that. So then, what is the actual? Describe where we are. So, like, we're by the hangar. Is it like a corridor, or is it like
so
a
the hangar that
walkway?
you guys are going up to, just a quick scan of like how big it looked from that map that Lena had onto her console. It looks like this hangar is big enough to store like the Stalingrad definitely. It can store with space around it, or 2 ships slightly smaller than the Stalingrad side by side. That's how big the hangar
I care
is.
less about the hangar. I care where we are.
Yeah, hold on. The door coming into the hangar, there are a couple of main doors that come into the hangar, similar to what you guys had dealt with back in session 1 or session 2. And then there's a huge exit that leaves outside the hangar. Where you guys are is a service tunnel that comes up into it. And actually it comes up at an angle, at like a not quite 45-degree angle, up into the facility overhead, because you're coming from down below. So like the stairs come up to a little like hatch area where you can open the door. So really only 2 of you guys can stand in the door itself as it opens up, and everybody else like slightly down behind you. About a 30-degree angle, you know.
In which case, I would be recommending the same thing we did last time with the breach. You and Angry McRussian Face, basically at the
Breaching
door,
clear, yeah.
and then depending on the layout of the room inside, which I'll be able to way easier check from inside once the doors are open, right? You'll move forward enough that we can have Lena do some shooting from here, Lena, Private Johnson, and me do shooting from here. That's the plan I'd be discussing.
Okay. I'm down.
Yeah, like Carmine knows he's the best suited for breaching, so he doesn't even
Yeah,
argue.
it's more like a sustained breach. You know, hold that position is probably better than like immediately running into the for the ships, but we'll see. It depends what the terrain is in there, honestly.
So the hope
Yeah.
is to open the doors up, kind of have 1 or 2 of you guys flood in, everybody else kind of like hang back and assess and then make decisions from there. And that's what you want to do next? Perfect. We'll do it
Yes.
after this break.
Whoa! Break time!
Break time!
Get your